Hi friends, my name is Julie and welcome back to my farm. We are officially into our spring season here, and there have been a lot of changes and new additions to the farm since the last time I've showed you guys around. So in today's video, I'm going to take you on a little tour and get you updated on what's going on around here. The first thing you might notice is that we've got the goats out grazing again, which is awesome. We've also got the sheep out and they are in the front pasture. We'll walk up there and visit them. I can tell they're all so much happier back out on fresh grass. We're trying something a little bit different with the goats this year. In the past, we've just rotated them around really the perimeter of our property where most of our wooded areas are. And that's worked great, except that when I'm milking the does, I have to drag a milking stand around and I have to get them out of these electric fences one by one without everybody else getting out. And I also have to figure out a way to separate the babies at night while they're out on pasture or in the woods. And sometimes they are quite a ways from our house because we graze over on our neighbor's property as well. In the past couple years, I've only been milking a handful of does, so it hasn't been that big of an issue. But this year I am milking 8. So we really had to come up with some better solutions. So what we're trying this year is to kind of dedicate the area around the goat barn to the goats. So some of that will include pasture area that we have traditionally allowed the sheep to graze, which is fine. So even though goats are browsers, they will definitely eat pasture as well. They'll eat grass. You can see they've done a pretty good job around our pond already. And ideally we want to keep them within sight of their barn area so that every evening when I need to separate the babies, I can call the whole herd back to there. Usually they'll follow me with a bucket of grain. I can put the babies in their baby stall. I can milk the mamas in the morning in the comfort of my milk room. And then everybody can go back out onto new pasture the next day. So it'll also be a lot easier to move the fences around because I won't have the goats in the fence that I need to pick up and move for that day. So a little extra chores in the evening, calling the goats back in. But the nice thing about goats is they are so trainable. And as soon as they get into a routine doing it, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. We're already, I think, 3 nights into it. And even though last night we had this grazing area attached to the barn, so we really didn't have to like call them in. They went in on their own. So they're already getting the idea, which is great. So I think this is gonna work out really well, but we'll just have to see. And speaking of goat, I actually added one to our flock this year. I mentioned in a recent video about our goat kids that I wanted to move in the direction of raising mini Nubians. But I don't want to get rid of the girls and the genetics that I have right now because I really like some of them. So a friend of mine really needed to rehome this nice little buckling, and he is an F1 mini Nubian. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. He was partially bottle fed, so he's really friendly, but you can see he's not annoying. He's not jumping on me or nibbling on me. Hi, buddy. He's just out being a normal goat, getting some grazing done. He is definitely fitting in nicely. He came from a nice local breeder, and they named him Nevin, which I thought was really adorable, and I still accidentally call him that sometimes. But as you may know, every year we name all the babies with names starting with the same letter of the alphabet. And this year it was F's. So I really wanted to give him an F name just for the sake of record keeping, really. And so I named him Phineas Fogg. We just end up calling him Finn, but he doesn't seem to mind or notice that I changed his name. He kind of just comes to you if you call. One of the reasons I felt I needed to get another buck for this herd was I felt like I should add some new genetics to the herd anyway, because I want to keep a lot of the daughters from the buck we used last year. Also, I know the owner is thinking about selling him, so he may not be available even for breeding again. So we're also going to retain Figaro, one of the kids that I bred this year. He's the son of Vivian, my full-bred Nubian, so he's going to be a Nubian boar cross. And then we'll pair Phineas here with some of the girls that were born earlier this year. So that's the plan. Moving towards mini Nubians. I'm excited. Did I wake you up? So you guys may remember Donna, our big Hereford sow. Well, she has some new roommates now. I was lucky enough to find a really nice young Hereford boar for sale, and he is yet to be named Daryl wants to name him Connor McGregor, but I'm not quite sure about that name. Let me know what you guys think. We're looking for a good, strong name for a nice big red-headed fella here. Yeah. And he has put on quite a bit of weight since I brought him home. He's really filling out very nicely. And I love his personality because he is super chill. He is very cautious around people. He gives you a wide breath when you come around, which is perfect. I want a boar that doesn't want to mess with me, doesn't want to touch me, and that's this guy. He's a good boy. He's not super skittish though. He's cool. He's just chill. And then he came with some friends, and they are Hereford crosses, and we're gonna finish them for some pork. They've got nice long bellies, so we're gonna get some great bacon out of these guys. So really happy we found them. They were not electric fence trained when they came, and we've been using these hog nets from Premier One, which I really love. They're super easy to use, and they're very sweet, but these guys are probably the dumbest pigs I've ever met. This pink guy in particular here, he got shocked about 20 times the first hour he was in this fence, and I think he gets shocked just about daily still. He cannot resist touching it for some reason. I don't know, or he's a glutton for pain. The others figured it out pretty quickly, and they have really been great pigs to have so far. And we're really hoping that Donna is pregnant again. She has come into heat twice since we added the boar, and this last time we did see him breed her. So in a couple days we'll know if she's pregnant or not, hey, big boy. Because she'll be due for another heat cycle to hit. So if she doesn't come into heat within the next week, I think we're safe to say that she has been bred again. If not, we'll give it maybe 1 or 2 more cycles, and then I've probably got to make some hard decisions about Donna. But fingers crossed, we're gonna have some beautiful new Hereford piglet babies in the future. We've got pumpkins sprouting everywhere from when we got that big load of pumpkins from the extension office. Pretty awesome. We've got a batch of Cornish cross broiler chicks. They are ready to go out on pasture. We also have a couple young geese that are living with them right now. They're gonna go out on pasture with them as their guardians, and then we'll probably integrate them with our Muscovy duck flock after that. And speaking of our Muscovy ducks, we had really whittled down that flock to just 5 birds. We processed a lot of drakes last fall, and we lost a lot of our hens to predation, and we think it was mostly owls. We really love the Muscovies for pest control, and we allow them to free range on our property. And they do a great job of reducing the number of flies and mosquitoes, and really a lot of the annoying biting insects that we encounter here on the farm. So we really wanted to beef those numbers back up, and luckily our 3 ladies have been just killing it with the hatching. We've already had 17 chicks hatched, and all 3 of them are sitting on nests again right now. So it's looking to be a really good year to beef up those numbers. I was thinking we're gonna have to buy some chicks, which isn't a big deal because these guys are known for being prolific breeders, but man, our ladies are really coming through. So we wanted to do a little bit more to protect these guys since the predation has been really bad lately. But we also want to allow them to be free range. You can see how much they enjoy not only finding bugs to eat, but nibbling on forage as well. And they're just super happy out here, as you can see. So let me go show you what Daryl built for them. Welcome to our new duck house. So Daryl built this in just a couple weekends with pretty much all free or salvaged material. He bartered a little bit for the roofing from a friend of ours. We're gonna give him 2 ducks for that. But otherwise, it's just pallet walls, some old fence posts we had laying around, some old lattice work for the door, and a lot of this old pecan wood that had been donated to us years ago. That was a little bit difficult to work with, but great for a structure like this. As you can see, we've got the little duck door so they can go in and out as they please, and we lock this up at night and let them out in the morning. But it's also got this larger door that we can open. So if we ever need to retrieve a duck out of here, or if there's eggs laid in here, or if we just want to clean it out, really, which is the main reason we have this door, then that makes it easy for us to get in there as well. But most of the time we keep this closed so the dogs don't get in there, and of course predators. We don't want anything lurking in there. And so it was a little bit of a nightmare at first training the ducks to go in here. We locked them in there for the first 24 hours with food and water, and then we opened it up and allowed them to come out, which I think the first day we actually had to kick them out of there. And then every night I would round them up. I wound up having to make a little chute to corral them into the first 3 nights, I think. And then they had to learn how to go up the ramp, so I had to lift most of them in there. But then by the 5th night, they just magically went in there by themselves, which was really good because honestly, I was on the verge of giving up. It was taking me like an extra 45 minutes at night to round these ducks up. So very grateful that they caught on, and now they're starting to integrate with the older ducks and they're learning how to forage. Very, very happy with how everything's going with the duck flock. The goats think I'm walking up here to see them again, but we're actually up here to visit the chickens. This big old chicken tractor has been chucking its way up through the fields. We ran it around the area by the house at first, and now we're headed up to the front pasture with them. And their job is to fertilize. So by moving them in a really managed way with this chicken tractor, we can determine where and how much manure they deposit. And this has really been our main fertilization strategy. And of course, we get lovely, delicious eggs as well. We're still getting a lot of pullet eggs, but we're getting more and more every day. So most of our young layers are coming on board. We're starting to get really beautiful, multicolored dozens of eggs to sell at the farmers markets again. And everyone seems like a happy, healthy, cohesive flock now. Everybody's getting along. I am planning on buying a new incubator in the fall and starting to incubate some of these eggs, especially these American breast chickens. I've been really happy with their laying capacity. We're actually getting ready to process some of the roosters that I raised from chicks. We're gonna do that tomorrow, so I'll definitely let you know how those turn out. Come on, Sai, let's go. You get a stick? Yeah, you feeling good? Come on, let's go see the sheep before it rains. It's gonna rain, Bubba. So the sheep have been back out on pasture for about a week now, and they've already decimated this whole side of the pasture. But that's fine, because it's actually growing back really fast. We had a great late flush of the ryegrass that we planted last fall, and we actually got the sheep out at the perfect time to graze it, which hardly ever happens. We've also had a nice flush of clover late, so they're getting some really good nutrition out here. I can tell that they are so much happier and more relaxed being out on pasture. They start to get really stressed out in the barn because it is right down in the corner of our pasture. So they are surrounded by all this green growing, and you can just see them like standing by the fence longingly looking out at that new grass. So when we finally let them out, everybody is very relieved and all that anxiety goes away. They're always really fat and happy. We're feeding very little grain now. I'm weaning them down to hardly anything. It's really just enough to make it easy to move them. I am also weaning my bottle babies, and they're not very happy about it. You can visit. There's Flashy and Finnegan. Yeah, you guys are so fat. You're so fat. Don't get shocked. Don't get shocked. Yeah, sorry, boys. You have lots to eat. They were starting to barely drink their bottles. They weren't really finishing them anymore. And you can see they always have huge bellies when I come out here. So they were definitely getting enough food without that milk. So it's just one last chore that I have to do. They're 10 weeks old now, which is far beyond what most people, from what I understand, bottle feed lambs like this. So I think they are good to go, even though they obviously disagree with me. I know, boys. I still love you. But you see, nobody else is bawing at me. They're just happily munching away. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I did want to mention We lost the matriarch and the foundation ewe of this flock. It was about 2 weeks ago now. Her name was Delilah, and if you've ever watched any of my videos regarding sheep, she's usually the one that I'm snuggling in the thumbnail. She was one of the first sheep that I brought home, and she was amazing. I remember the day that we went to pick out the ewes that we wanted. She strode right up to me and bawed in my face with her big old belly, which we were later to find out was holding triplet babies, and those were the first lambs born on our farm. So a lot of great memories with that girl. She was above and beyond the smartest sheep I have ever met. She was also cunning and a little too smart for her own good at some time. She liked to sneak out of the fence, especially when Daryl was watching the holes. So she's definitely a character, and she contributed a whole lot to getting this flock of sheep going. And I will remember her forever. Maple, what's this? Junie, did you see? Did you see? Yeah, good girls. It looks like the nice people at GrubTerra sent us some dog treats. So let's check them out. Let's see if the girls like them. So I heard of GrubTerra years ago as makers of treats for chickens, but apparently now they make treats for dogs. And so they sent us the Moo Munchies, which are made from beef. I think they're just dehydrated beef. They're supposed to be like single ingredient snacks. And although we raise a lot of meat on this farm, we do not raise any beef. And we have found from all the treats that we give them that that is Maple's favorite meat. So I think she's gonna be pretty excited about this because she does not get beef very often. We usually give her some steak on her birthday, but. Ooh. Wow, yeah, that is pretty all natural. That is just some dehydrated beef. All right. Looks like some odds and ends. Let's try a little one. Junie, good girl. Maples, sit. Good girl. You like it? Junie put hers on the ground for a second to try it. Maple's trying hers. Looks like Junie wants another one. You like them? Was that good? Did you even eat it? I didn't see it. Did you just hork it down? Yeah? Not a big one. Let's see. Some of these are huge. Here, there's a good maple-sized one. All right. I think we can declare those a winner with the girls. They seem to like those quite a bit. And I'm not surprised because they definitely like real meat. And this is pretty much as real as you can get. So good job, GrubTerra. All right, now we're gonna see what Cypress thinks of these. He can sometimes be a little bit pickier than the girls, but from their reaction, I don't think these are gonna be a problem. Say. You sniffing? Do you smell something good? Does it smell good? He's a good boy. Thank you. Treat. He's gonna go investigate and see what he thinks. You think it's a toy? Is that a fun toy? You're supposed to eat it, Bubba. Good boy.
Is it all gone? Is it so good? Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna call that a 3 out of 3 thumbs up for the new GrubTerra Moo Munchies. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little spring farm tour and all the updates, and we'll see you next time.